Hi there, and thanks for joining us. My name is Cody, and this is Andy Posner, the founder of the Capital Good Fund. Andy's joining me today to talk to us a little bit about the Capital Good Fund and what it is that they do as a recent recipient of a MoneyGram Foundation grant. So, Andy, thanks for joining us today. Why don't you kick off by telling us a little bit about the Capital Good Fund and what you guys do?
So Capital Good Fund is a nonprofit lender. We also have a U.S. Treasury certification as a community development financial institution. I actually started the organization over 12 years ago now. We're based in Providence, Rhode Island, and we operate in 6 states, most recently in Texas. And we're pretty unique because we offer low-income families 2 things. One of them being small dollar personal loans, and the other one is financial and health coaching. Our loans are most commonly used for things like vehicle repair, immigration expenses, be that citizenship costs, getting a green card, filing a family petition, as well as other needs that people have, particularly in a pandemic. So rent, utilities, technology purchases, even food and clothing. And like I said, we've been around 12 years, we're growing really fast. And we've been able to, over the last year, really step up to meet the need that we've seen in the community due to the pandemic. We actually just crossed $14 million in loans lent out all time to 7,000 lower income families. And we've also had about 1,700 people go through our financial coaching program.
That's awesome. Thank you for sharing all of that. The MoneyGram Foundation's mission is centered around financial literacy and inclusion. And I know that's something that you just mentioned that is a big priority for you guys and really foundational for what you guys do. How specifically do you help people in these areas outside of just providing them the crisis relief loans?
Yeah, one of the things that's interesting about our approach is that it's very much driven in a belief in the dignity and capacity of lower income families. So when we provide financial coaching, it's not driven by a belief that they are poor or low income because of a lack of understanding of how to manage money, but rather because of a lack of money to manage. And that's an important distinction for us. So when we do coaching, it's not judgment based. A lot of other people act as though the reason people are in financial difficulty is because they go to Starbucks once a week. Right? We don't take that approach. For us, it's very much a recognition of the complexity of being lower income, particularly in a moment like this, where families are suddenly faced with figuring out not only how to get by under normal circumstances, but also how to access forbearance programs and moratoriums on eviction, how to find a vaccine and a COVID test, make sure you get your stimulus checks, et cetera, et cetera. A lot of what we do, therefore, is working with a client to identify their goals, navigate our fairly crazy patchwork system of supports for lower income families, and basically just be a resource. It's not a financial literacy program per se, it's more of a coaching relationship that we have with the clients. Additionally, for us, really, we believe our primary impact with lending is the way that the loan is used itself. Again, I mentioned some of the reasons that people take out the loans. Additionally, because we report all loan payments to all 3 credit bureaus, our borrowers see an average credit score increase of 70 to 90 points, which is a tremendous impact whether you're applying for a job, health insurance, an apartment, any type of loan.
Wow, that's huge. Thank you for sharing all of that. So you mentioned earlier that you guys have just made the move to Texas. And so I'd love to learn more about that. Why Texas? And could you help us understand a little bit about how the grant that you just received from the MoneyGram Foundation will be used to support those people?
Absolutely. As I mentioned, I started the organization in 2009 in Providence, Rhode Island. And over the years, we've started to expand geographically. And when we look at where we operate, the first thing we want to know is there a need for what we're providing? And in Texas, the answer was a resounding yes. So that for us was a big driver. The second piece was looking at what is the population of the state and is that really our target population? So we focus a lot, as I mentioned, on low-income folks, but also communities of color, immigrants in particular, being another focus of ours, and then also Spanish speakers. So all of those are present. And then after a while, we identify a number of states that are appealing to us from those perspectives. And then it's a question of funding. And so JP Morgan actually provided us the initial grant to go into Texas. And then now we've been able to partner with other generous thought leaders, community leaders, and funders such as MoneyGram. And your funding is going to go toward our crisis relief loan activities. We have a goal of doing at least 600 crisis relief loans in Texas in our first year in operations. We've already done over 250. So we're well on our way toward achieving that goal. And for these families, again, the impacts are going to be the credit score increase, the money they save on interest and fees, and then the loan itself, which, just to emphasize, often our loan prevents bankruptcy, eviction, job loss, and that sort of thing. So there's a lot of impact just in how the loan is used.
That's great. Thanks for sharing that. I guess my next question for you would be, companies like MoneyGram, what are some steps that we could take to help the people that you're talking about here, help the people that you serve? How can we play a more active role as a company in serving that community?
Yeah, so clearly with contributions like the one you're making, you're already demonstrating a strong commitment to lower income communities. Another thing that we really encourage the corporate community to continue to do or do more of is to use its voice and its power to advocate for policy that benefits those we serve. Something I've learned over 12 years is that absent good public policy, we can't achieve our mission, which is to create pathways out of poverty and advance a green economy. Additionally, companies like MoneyGram can provide information, resources, and referrals to resources in the community. For example, can your agents give people information about domestic violence agencies and job training programs so that you're leveraging that relationship to be more relational than transactional? And I know that's something that you guys do, in particular, given the population you serve. There's such a strong alignment with our work, which is, I think, why we're so excited about the partnership. But I think there's a win-win-win aspect here, because the kinds of things that are good for the community can also be good for business and building customer relations and trust.
I think given that overlap that you just mentioned between the people that we serve and the people that you serve, I have to believe that there might be people watching this video that might be good candidates for what you guys offer. So how would someone begin the process of applying for a loan through the Capital Good Fund?
We have put a lot of time, effort, and money into making our entire loan process accessible for anyone, and in particular in a pandemic. So everything can be done on a basic smartphone. Everything is native translated into Spanish, and all of our client-facing staff are bilingual. To apply for a loan, you go to our website, which is capitalgoodfund.org. You navigate to apply now. You fill out a standard loan application, which takes 10 to 15 minutes. You submit and you click submit and upload some basic documents. We get a guaranteed decision within 2 business days. If you're pre-approved, we will then send you a request for any additional documents like proof of identity. And then you will electronically sign your closing docs. Your account will be credited with your loan proceeds. And then your monthly loan payments will get pulled out of your loan account unless you prefer a different method. So it's a very simple process. We can do same-day turnaround sometimes, but usually it's a 3 to 4 business day process from start to finish. And again, it can all be done from the comfort of your home, even on a basic smartphone and in English or Spanish.
That's great. Thank you so much, Andy. And thank you for the work that you're doing with the Capital Good Fund and serving those in need. We're really excited to be partnering with you, and that's all I've got. So appreciate you joining me today. And again, just really appreciate the work you're doing.